Okay, look at me and they welcome to my universe. Welcome back to my universe. This is Starlini speaking, and I'm back with a podcast style kind of video for today. I actually want to talk about specifically the struggle to feel pretty during today's world. I don't know if that is how I would title this just yet, but that is essentially what I want. Essentially, what I wanted to bring to the table today. So, the thoughts kind of sparked when I responded to a comment that I received maybe a week ago or a month ago, but I just saw it earlier today. And the person asked me what my Instagram is. And I responded that I don't use social media because, well, that's the truth. I do not. I don't have an Instagram. I don't have the other forms of social media as well. And it is very intentional. I know that that's very rare for your average 20-year-old person. At least in this country in particular. It seems like my generation, Gen Z in particular, is very much raised on the internet, like it's really bad. And I think with Instagram in particular, the problem is that you can't help but find yourself looking at life through a filtered lens, especially when you're seeing images of people. And a long time ago, I noticed this trend, this downward trend of more and more people hopping on Instagram, which first became popular when I was in middle school and more so throughout my high school academic career, or whatever you call it. Um, I just noticed like more people editing their pictures. A lot more people would like upload heavily edited and heavily photoshopped or face tuned or filtered photos. And I didn't want to be one more of those girls, if I'm honest. I think that if you're insecure, you don't need to get on Instagram or get on social media and upload heavily filtered photos of yourself, because all that does is show everyone how insecure you are. Anybody who thinks that they naturally look really nice is not going to edit their photos, because you don't edit something that you think looks good, right? Just like if you think something is pretty, you don't buy it from the store and then paint over it. You buy it as is because you like how it is. I think that one of the things that I noticed from other girls was that a lot of them were insecure and looking for social validation in order to feel better about themselves. And I won't pretend like I didn't have insecurities in high school. Of course I did. The world and the people around you definitely raise you to be really insecure, and definitely the images that we see. But that is why I think in order to counteract that, you have to, one, be mindful of the messages that you feed yourself, and two, be very mindful of the images that you show yourself. It's too easy to get on social media, get on Instagram in particular, and scroll through images of one girl's account, and all of a sudden start to think of yourself as being incapable of ever being on her level, when in reality she's not even on her level. You're looking at somebody, again, a filtered version of a person. Like I just the other day, I was talking to someone, I saw some images, and I'm like, this girl's body is not even real. Like, you could tell that she bought certain parts of her body. I'm looking at this really skinny girl, and I'm seeing how thick her cushions were back there, and I'm seeing how odd the little lump on the side was. And I was just like, wait a minute, because there's no way a girl that's this skinny would have a badonkadonk like this. There's absolutely no way that her behind is real. And of course, the guys don't care about that. They eat that stuff up because visually it may be what some of them like to see. However, what I would say to the people, to the girls in particular who find themselves, having a similar train of thought, I would say, don't click on things like that. However, when you come across things like that, just remember that it's not real. Remember that you're looking at a finished product of somebody, hours later, hours after doing their hair, their makeup, applying these nails, these extensions. Like, these people are paying a lot of money, going through these microdermabrasion. That's like the new skincare thing. You got a lot of these people who start out one complexion and end another. And I mean, I'm just saying, you have to be able to recognize the real from the fake. People are going to do whatever they want to do, obviously, to feel less insecure in this world. And I don't necessarily think that is the issue. I think the issue is when you spend money, especially continuing to feed the patriarchy and its ideas as to what you are supposed to look like as a woman. I think when you do those things in order to feel less insecure, that's when you're getting yourself into trouble. Because I definitely don't think that if you as a woman don't like how you look, you should go run to a man essentially and let him tell you what would make you look better. And when I say run to a man, I mean most of these surgeons, these certified plastic surgeons, they tend to be men. The people behind the images that we are shown to be most beautiful tend to be men at the top of these institutions and agencies when it comes to the music industry and the fashion industry. Those are industries dominated by men. I mean, hello, Michael Kors, Steve Madden. I don't know who Gucci is, but it sounds like a dude to me. Versace sounds like a dude to me. These are men at the end of the day who for decades have been in control of what women see as beautiful. Why women keep on letting these men determine beauty standards for them is lost on me, because I'm smarter than that, and I think a lot of us are smarter than that, but for some reason we seem to be really asleep at the wheel of our lives, and we seem to not want to take in control what we see ourselves to be and what we see beauty to be in this world for ourselves. You may think somebody else is pretty, but if you know you don't look anything like that girl, you need to learn how to see what you have as pretty too. And I'm saying that for myself. I'm saying that for other girls as well. I'm saying that for anybody who didn't know that they needed to hear that just now. Can I get a amen from the congregation? Let the congregation say hallelujah. Okay, hallelujah on this fine good morning. Okay, this good morning. I just think that it's important. No, it's imperative that you understand how to look at yourself as just as quote unquote pretty or gorgeous or beautiful as the next girl. And I want to speak to the effect of what it means to be pretty, because something that I realized when I was a junior in high school is that although many of us are beautiful, although many of us can appear to be gorgeous, not many of us are actually pretty, because pretty is an experience. It's not a look. I don't think people are born pretty. I think pretty is a phase. That's why somebody who had quote unquote pretty eyes and pretty skin and all that kind of stuff looks like a shriveled up raisin, years later. Or that's why they look like, let me leave it at that. All the aged milk comments and stuff like that. Again, it's because pretty is an experience. You see some women, you see some dudes, and they're like, you're like, oh my God, they're so handsome. And then like a few years later, all that is lost. It's because prettiness is a phase that people go in and out of. It's something that some people experience briefly. And that's just my hypothesis based on what I've seen. Prettiness is about the current beauty standards of the world or the country that you're living in at the time, which is why somebody coming from India can be seen as super pretty, but then over here it's like, meh, I don't see it. It's because the beauty standards vary depending on where you're at, of course. Like where my parents are coming from, in their perspective, a woman who is or a girl who's like thicker, who's more round in her shape, is like more considered pretty on the islands where they're coming from, right? However, up here for the longest time, American beauty standards were, a slender woman, and specifically somebody who looked like they weren't eating, like they were stuck on trying to be 100 pounds all their life, even if they're like 50. You know what I mean? Like for the longest time, being super, super, super slender, not thick, not slim thick, not all that stuff that we see today, is what was considered most beautiful and most attractive for a woman. What makes a woman pretty is constantly changing. Again, that is because those standards are constantly being reshaped by men. If you are struggling to feel, or not even to feel, but to believe truly that you are attractive, you have to understand that that work starts from within. You have to first be of the mindset that you naturally are attractive. And then, of course, when you have your insecurities, you have to do the work to quiet those negative comments. You have to quiet the negative self-talk. And like I said, if you find yourself looking at people on Instagram or on social media platforms as a whole, and thinking that you are less than them, you need to stop looking at those things. I'm not saying that the reason why I'm not on Instagram is because of that in particular. Again, I just think it's very odd the way we kind of just like put our entire lives out there. Like, I know I talk a lot about my personal experiences on YouTube. That's most likely why I won't create social media platforms in the future. I don't think everybody needs to see when you're in this place and that place. If you had a new baby cousin, da 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 da. People who don't even know you do not need access to that kind of information. And oftentimes it's about social validation. I mean, that's why the like system hasn't been depleted. Instagram deleted the likes briefly, a week ago or so, but they quote unquote were just testing out a bug or whatever. They know deep down that the main reason people are on social media is because they want to be validated by others. I've not ever been that type of person. I look for validation from within. I look to believe in myself based on what I see myself accomplish, not what other people tell me. Therefore, I think that social media could be a good tool for me, but it is not necessary. I also don't think that it's a very healthy thing to have. You can't be looking at other people live their life and then expect to efficiently go live yours too. No, it's one or the other. You're going to watch other people live, or you're going to go out and you're going to live. And only the people who are there for the journey really need to be able to see the most intimate moments, especially when they're happening in the moment. Like, it's really sad that we live in this society where people literally do things just so that they can post it on the internet and say that it was done. Like, a fight could break out and people just want to jump up and scream world star and take photos and videos. They don't want to like be present in the moment anymore. You see girls go get their breasts done, girls go get their bodies done, girls go get their lips done. And it's like, you're only 23 years old. How much more are you going to do to your face and to your body? Like, it's not realistic. I think it's really not healthy. I think it's really not safe. And I think that when you are just 20 something years old, you got to remember, like, your face and your body are still forming. You need to remember that your body is naturally going to do its thing. If you have a child when you're 20 or 22 or 25 or even 18 or even 27, your body is naturally going to find its way back to your most comfortable figure, or its natural figure, I should say. Of course, as long as you treat your body right. And that's something I do want to speak on. A lot of people are lazy, especially in this first world ass country. A lot of people just want the easy route. A lot of people want to just go lay on a table, risk their lives, get new breasts, get new cheeks and stuff. And it's like, is it really so difficult for you to empower yourself to do the work? Like, some people would say, oh, you can't get rid of loose skin from working out and whatnot. But have they tried consistently to actually work out? Have they really tried to do not just working out, but changing your diet? I mean, you can do things like drink turmeric tea, cinnamon tea. That helps with weight gain. That helps with burning fat. That helps with inflammation. That helps with so much. I mean, it's like, are you really doing the work every single day in order to see the results? Or are you giving yourself a couple of weeks or a couple of months and then saying, okay, well, I did work out sometimes. I did get a membership to a gym and I didn't see the results that I want. So let me go lay on this table real quick and risk my life. I mean, I've actually seen for myself content from people on YouTube. I mean, this person, I don't think that this person was a YouTuber, but there was a video of this person who went to the Dominican Republic and she's in a room with this lady who's speaking Spanish to her. And the lady doesn't, the girl who recorded herself going through this process doesn't speak a lick of Espanol. How do you go all the way to the Dominican Republic and you don't speak a lick of Espanol and you're letting this lady put all kinds of stuff in you? And she asked her what she was doing and the lady didn't understand her. So the lady just smiled and laughed. I'm like, girl, the least you gotta do is learn how to say ¿qué es? Or ¿qué está haciendo? Like, you gotta learn how to, or ¿qué estás? You have to learn a few things. You don't go to a foreign country, let them probe you and stick all kinds of needles and stuff inside you and inject all kinds of stuff in you. And then you don't even know how to communicate with the person. Are you dumb or are you stupid? For real? Are you dumb or are you stupid? Are you that insecure? Do you think you're that ugly? Do you think you're that less than? And it's sad because I already know the answer is yes, you do. I know these girls really don't like themselves. And I will say this, it is good to know that a lot of us are really insecure because at one point in time when I was a kid, I used to feel like, like I was alone in that. And I wasn't born insecure. I was made insecure by the comments from people who wanted to bring me down. If you have Caribbean parents or foreign parents, they say a lot of effed up things to you when you're a kid. They body shame you. They shame you for things you can't help. They shame you for your skin color, even though they're responsible for your skin color. Like, they shame you for your hair texture. They shame you for everything. And I grew up feeling so insecure, and I can't stand that sometimes because, I know who I am, but sometimes to this day, I still have to quiet that noise and I still have to shake the negative comments that come from time to time when I don't feel that good about where I am in my life. And that's one thing that I want to stress. It is important that you take care of yourself. It is important that you treat yourself well. You have to treat yourself well and you have to take care of your health. Your mental and your physical wellness plays a key part in how you see yourself. You have to treat your body right. And another thing that helps me is accomplishing goals that you set for yourself. I think that some people get their sense of self-worth from their looks because all they've ever been told is how pretty they are. Well, I grew up with the expectations that I would be a lot more than just pretty. I had to be strong. I had to be a survivor. I had to defend myself and fight off, unwanted situations that happened to me or may have escalated and stuff like that. I didn't have time to focus on being this little itty bitty pretty girl and what have you. And when I say focus on that, I mean going to the nail shop and trying to get my nails done and spending hundreds of dollars on wigs and weave and stuff like that and creams for my skin and never washing dishes so that my nails don't ever break. Like, I didn't grow up like that. So I didn't get to focus on whether or not I was pretty enough. I had to be strong enough and smart enough in order to prevail in this life. I know some people have a different kind of situation, but what helps me as a result of the way that I grew up is setting goals for myself and getting the stuff done. That's what makes me feel amazing. I feel like such a boss when I see that I am evolving in life. Like when you have an idea as to where you want to be and you actually work towards that, I think for some of us out there, especially if you're a Capricorn, if you have that ambitious type of spirit, that is really where a source of our beauty comes from, because the way you radiate from within only exudes outward. Then everybody will see like a shine about you. You'll be able to see a glow about you, I mean. And I don't know, that helps me feel better about myself, if nothing else will. And then that transfers over to how I feel about myself physically. Now, it works the same if I don't treat myself well. I feel less than, I feel less attractive if I don't treat myself well, if I don't eat well and stuff like that, if I don't drink enough water, if I don't get enough sleep. Like right now, it's like 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. I woke up, I could not go back to sleep. So that's why I'm doing this right now, you know? But one of the things I want to circle back to is the whole prettiness thing being an experience. I think if you keep that in your perspective, that may help you understand things a little bit better. Like I said, this is just my perspective, but that whole idea of being pretty or born pretty is not realistic. There's, of course, a lot of us, I think, are like beautiful people naturally. However, we don't show ourselves how we look naturally, which is why when you see a barefaced person in this day and age, people have such an odd or an adverse reaction to it. Like, oh my God, how dare you show your bare face? You know what I mean? But I mean, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you embrace how you naturally look? Girl, when the curtain is called, you're not gonna have all that stuff on your face. One, and two, when you're 50, 60, 70 years old, praying that you make it that far and don't die from the cement that's in your cheeks, you're not going to look the way that you look now anyway. And all these likes and comments that you get from people on social media doesn't actually translate to anything in real life that is tangible. These are not friends that you really have at the end of the day. These are onlookers who are obsessed or fixated on the idea of you or the image of you that you're putting out there. But these are not people who ever really get to know you unless you strip yourself down from all of the excess junk that you put on your face and on your body, inside your body, and show them who you really are. If you are a girl who's struggling to quote unquote feel like you're pretty, the first step is to just know that you are. You have to affirm. Remember that anything you say after I am is true to the subconscious mind. So if you say I am ugly, that means that's really how you see yourself. You have to say things like I am beautiful, I am wonderful, I am amazing, I am gorgeous, I am wise, I'm wealthy, healthy, all that kind of stuff. I'm prosperous, I'm gifted, I'm talented, I am loved, I'm protected, you know? You have to affirm. You have to keep affirming the notion that you are attractive because you are. And you cannot let the attention you get from other people make you believe that. You have to believe it for yourself. I know a lot of girls at some point in time were conditioned to think that how attractive we are is determined by the amount of attention we receive from boys. For a split second throughout my upbringing, I doubted that I was attractive because I didn't think I got a lot of attention from boys. In hindsight, I understand that I received moderate to a decent, I don't know, like I would say not a lot, because I know I could be a I don't want to say a lot. I will be humble saying I don't want to say I received a lot of attention. However, I mean, my first quote unquote boyfriend was in 5th grade, and I continued to receive quote unquote advances or um what is it when somebody like wants to be with you or something like that, request, whatever. Like I started to like receive more and more of that in middle school and then more in high school, and I realized in hindsight that I had that even if I based my self-worth on the amount of attention I received from boys, I still didn't see myself as attractive because of my own warped perception of myself due to the things that people had said to me, like my parents or like my siblings when they were trying to break me down. You know what I mean? But my foster mother, shout out to her, even though we don't talk anymore, she said, when I told her about what my parents used to say to me and my siblings when they were being mean to me, she was like, "What?" She was like, "My baby has never been ugly. My baby was never ugly. You have never been ugly." Da, 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 da. And I believe her because she treated me like I was this most beautiful, precious baby in the world. And that was really awesome. I hope one day to be able to speak on my beauty with as much conviction as she could at the time, because it definitely helped my self-esteem in the moment. And coming from her, it meant a lot more because she was my first mother and my only real mom. And she was with me from the beginning. She was with me from the jump when I was most pure and my mind wasn't tainted by the darkness of this world. So I don't want to make this too long. I just wanted to throw that out there and encourage you, if you are a young girl or even an older woman, to stay off these sites, stay off these social media platforms where people are only portraying, like, or not only, but mostly just portraying these filtered versions of themselves with all the prosthetics, the weaves, and the fake limbs and body parts that they keep on buying and stuff like that. It's not to shame those people, but I mean, I'll leave it at this. If you don't even look like you can't convince me that I'm trying to look like you. I shouldn't want to look like you if you don't even want to look like you. You don't even like yourself. And that's why you are chasing a different image every single day or in every single post. That's why you're on social media all the time looking for validation. It's because you don't even like yourself. You're just as insecure as the next person. And knowing that just makes me feel better because it allows for me to see the humanity in that person. It doesn't matter how much more attractive other people may try to make this person seem. I know the difference. I know the real, and I know that you are not that. And I know that your body is fake. And again, there's that if you're insecure about your body parts and stuff, that's fine. But again, I'm not about to put myself down, okay, and compare myself to somebody who's not real. I won't do it, and I don't think anybody else should. But on that note, I would say buenos dias, mi gente. Y tata, mi amores. Take care.